Hi friends, Allison here for Scrapbook Nerd. I'm dropping in to share another die cut scrapbook layout with you using Fall Market and Tulla and Norbert. I mostly focused on the Fall Market collection by Carta Bella. I did find it in the shop at Scrapbook Nerd, but it is an older collection. So if you love Carta Bella and you need to stock up on goodies, definitely check the shop for newer items. I'm not sure if this is available anymore in the shop. So I decided to use the papers to back my cut files today. I have 3 white flowers that I cut from white cardstock that I just had in my stash. And I used a pencil to trace around the petals. And I'm going to cut that out and then mat it to the floral die cuts. I'm going to speed through that because it's time consuming. So there you can see that I have it trimmed down to the right proportions. Any little pieces that stick out beyond the flower petals, I just take my scissors and trim them off afterwards. So I used this floral paper from Fall Market to mat 2 of the flowers, and then the 3rd flower I used just an orange pattern paper from the same collection. Here is where I used the Photoplay pattern paper. I just used the green pattern from the collection pack to back the flowers with some green. I had toyed with using some mixed media to fill in the places where the leaves were going to be, but I decided against that because I didn't think it would work very well with the rest of the design, and I thought it would be pretty hard to get it in the right spot in the end. So I just left it and decided to back the flowers with pattern paper instead. Once I have that done, I'm going to take my base and lay them out on the base again, kind of where I think I want them. And then I will put the rest of the design together. There you can see I'm just trimming off the excess. Some people, there are different ways of backing cut files. I just traced around it, so it ended up being a little bit bigger than I think it needed to be. Some people use the inside lines to trace their flowers or images, whatever it is they're doing, I think. I'm not that good at it yet, so I just did what I thought would work, and it worked fine. And just trimmed off whatever I needed to. So here I have some other die cuts. I wanted a border to create sort of a shelf for my title and my picture to rest on. And I'm just going to add the picture to some white tissue paper that I had in my stash. I've been using this a lot. There were 2 sheets of this white tissue paper that I found in a mandarin orange box. They were pristine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So I pulled them out of the box and kept them for my crafting, which was so great. I'm going to have to do that again. So definitely if you find things in your travels, put them aside and use them for your crafting if there's nothing wrong with them. I've got the title adhered. I cut that with my Cricut as well. The title is going to be Hello Friend. This is a layout about meeting some of my crafty muses, I would say. As a close to my heart consultant, when I was a close to my heart consultant, I was able to attend convention, and that was in Provo last year, and I got to meet some of my favorite close to my heart artists. And the lady in the picture with me is one of them. It totally made my day, and it was so sweet that she had wanted to get a picture too, so which I thought was totally fab. So I have the flowers. I'm going to arrange them around the layout, one over the title, the other one over the right hand side of the picture, and then the last one at the bottom of the whole cluster. I pulled out my LE Studio Jane Alpha stickers. I wanted to either stamp or use stickers to create the word so. I figured stamping wouldn't work so well over top of the die cutting, so I opted for stickers those stickers I had in my stash. I don't know if they are available in the Scrapbook Nerd shop. If they are, I will link them in the description box down below. But if not, I will link something similar. Then I added just a few more leaves to the floral clusters just to round them out a little bit more and make them feel a little bit fuller. I also wanted to add some sewing thread, so I pulled out pink sewing thread and added them to some of the clusters as well. So they just kind of peek out. There's not a whole lot of thread showing, but it's a nice little touch to add, a little bit more texture to my layout. So the flowers, the floral clusters were all adhered with foam squares just to give them a little bit more dimension. And then I trimmed the white layout base down by 1/4 inch so that I could mat it to pink cardstock just to kind of frame it a little bit more. Here I toyed with the idea of adding my journaling to strips, but I didn't really like that idea just because it was white on white and I didn't want to have to fuss with trimming paper down. So I just took my pencil and a straight edge ruler and drew out my lines with the pencil for my journaling so that I could write it that way instead. I skipped the journaling part in the video just because I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to say and I needed to kind of organize my thoughts before I got it done. So I just did that off camera and then caught you back up to here by turning the camera back on. I added some stickles, sort of like Nuvo drops. That's how I was using them, just to create some dots around the page and add a little bit more interest. I had 2 colors pulled out, the gold and grapefruit, I do believe. And the grapefruit was a little too pink. I didn't want too much pink in there, so I opted for the gold. And with that, this layout is done. I do have a challenge associated with this layout, so you'll want to head over to the Scrapbook Nerd Facebook group. I believe it's the page or the group. I think it's a group. And check out the challenge there and play along for your chance to win a $10 gift card to the Scrapbook Nerd shop. So definitely don't miss out on that. I do have still shots and close-ups coming up right now. I hope you stick around for that, and I'd love to see you over at the Scrapbook Nerd group to play along with our challenge. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.